All right, guys, I'm really excited here. We have Badri Malner with us right now. He's got a software product that many people are really excited about within commercial real estate, particularly syndicators, but even LPs like myself. We're going to let Badri introduce himself and talk about his wonderful company, Avestor. Give us all the intel, Avestor. Hey,
Hey,
Badri.
Ralph. Thank you so much for having me over and thank you for the kind words. My name is Badri Malinor. I'm a co-founder of Avestor. Just a quick background of myself. I've invested in a wide range of asset classes. I was an exec in a Fortune 500 company. I've invested in multiple startups, and the Avestor model really excited me because we believe we can change the face of capital raising as we know it with a completely new type of fund called a customizable fund. Andrew, a customizable fund combines the best features of syndications and funds. The fund industry has really not changed in the last 60 years. Believe it or not, the first fund came during President Roosevelt's time. That's quite a while back. And investors have to invest in every deal in the fund, and they don't have the ability to pick and choose. Whereas we have something called a customizable fund, which allows investors to pick and choose which deal they want in the fund. So it combines the best features of syndications and funds, really.
That's really exciting, especially for an LP, because a lot of the LP investor crowd, it's white collar, highly paid white collar professionals, doctors, attorneys and engineers, and they don't want to be necessarily dealing with a million different PPMs and K1s. Having one central source would be great, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I think you hit two points right on the head there. So the genesis of Avestor was really to solve the experience and provide a more streamlined experience for end investors. I mean, and then it happened to morph into a platform for syndicators to create their own funds. But let me give you the history. Really, my co-founder was really frustrated with how much time it takes to invest in deals, research deals, and people don't feel comfortable putting 50, $100,000 in one deal. It doesn't matter how rich you are, right? I mean, and especially if you have a half a million portfolio or something, you don't want to put 100K in one deal. So, and you have to go to multiple crowdfunding platforms. You have to create an account, and some of the good deals go really fast. All of us have other jobs. I mean, you can't wait there waiting to click on the button to buy the deal. And so to solve that problem, we created the Avestor platform, which will allow people to invest in smaller amounts if needed. You can invest as little as $5,000 a deal. So we created our own fund to allow passive investors, and we wanted to give them a wide range of choices. People think commercial real estate is all about multifamily, but you and I know there's a lot more to it than that. There is self-storage, there is student housing, and there is RV parks, mobile home parks. We wanted people we wanted people to have the ability to invest in all these asset classes with one fund and have lower minimums. So it's a very simple analogy we are trying to solve. If you were to put 100,000 in the stock market, would you go with the person who's saying, hey, here is one stock, hopefully it's the next Tesla, but what are the chances of that, right? And do you want to put 100,000 in one stock, or I'll come and help you pick 10 different stocks at 10,000 each? What would you choose, right? So that is the problem we were trying to solve, and passive investors gave a fantastic reception to what we had built. And I think you also hit a point right on the head. We have one K1, and no, the only person happy getting 10 different K1s at tax time is really your accountant. I mean, maybe, right? Maybe even accountants are not happy these days. And so based on all of that, we put together a platform which solves some of the main pain points for passive investors. And we came up with Avestor. And then let me tell you about the transition to being a platform for other people to create funds. Did you have any questions about the passive investor problem you're trying to solve before I go
Oh
into
no,
the syndicator portion?
I'm really excited about it as a passive investor. I'm getting closer to 30 LP syndications, and the
Wow.
prospect of 20 plus, depending on some deals are rented out, some are land development deals, but once you cross the Rubicon of 20 plus syndications, it starts becoming a nightmare keeping spreadsheets and dealing with your accountant. And did I send everyone? Did I miss one? The whole point of being a passive investor is supposed to be less stress, less aggravation. The one
Bingo.
thing, and then for me, the big thing for me too is geographical diversity. So having the access to different niches within commercial real estate is great, but also just being able to say, hey, I don't want to only be in Texas. I want to be in Florida, and I'd also like to be in the Carolinas, or I want to be in the Midwest. I want to be in Ohio. Having the product you're talking about for an LP is just really wonderful in a lot of aspects.
Exactly, exactly. I think I think you outlined the value proposition very clearly. You get geographic diversification, you get asset diversification, asset class diversification, and let me add one more important point: you get multiple points of liquidity.
Yeah,
So,
that's good.
yeah,
That's
I mean, this is a long-term play. I know that. I mean, people don't mind, but hey, life throws a curve at you. It's nice to have points of liquidity 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now. Nothing happens, great. Roll over the money into another 4 year deal. So when you put smaller amounts in each deal, you can pick 3 year deals, 2 year deals. And in the same fund, we also offer debt options. So people can invest in short-term first mortgage liens offering between 8 to 12%.
oh
And that's
wow.
just 6 months to one year. So you have both short-term debt and long-term syndications. So you're really replicating the stock bond experience for investors. So I think you
Wow.
hit the three main points. But I mean, you hit two main points: asset class diversification and geographic diversification. But the two other points I would add is debt and also multiple points of liquidity. So it's solving multiple problems for the investor.
That's really great. We've kind of covered what's great for the LP, but I'm not less familiar with this part, but I definitely don't want to give short shrift to it because a lot of our viewers are also going to be GPs. What's really a good thing for the GPs that are starting funds and are looking at Avestor and saying, this is the platform for me that should be it'll help me and it'll help my investors.
Good question. Good question. So going back to the way we pivoted, we built this fund. We got fantastic experience response from passive investors, but then other GPs and said, "Hey, why are you keeping this technology to yourself? We want to create our own fund." And our goal was to really make alternative investments as easy as investing in the stock market. And there's only so much we can do with our own fund. I mean, you can grow a fund to a certain size. So we kind of discussed internally and we said it makes a lot more sense to open up the platform for other people to create their own funds, and then you'll reach a much broader audience. And so what we did is offered this customizable fund platform to other sponsors who want to create their own fund. And the problems we are trying to solve for them are like today, I know that you're a passive investor, but for an active sponsor, they have to create a separate blue sky filing. They have to create a separate PPM for each deal. They have to create a separate management LLC maybe, and they have to create separate tax returns for the fund for every syndication deal they're doing. If you're doing one deal a year or two deals a year, maybe, but as soon as you do even two deals a year for 2 or 3 years, this is not very scalable for sponsors or syndicators. And more importantly, they're just spending tons of money in legal, accounting, and compliance costs. So what we wanted to do was offer a one-stop shop where you create one evergreen fund. You can add any number of deals without having to go back to the attorney each time. You literally can add a deal within an hour into the platform. And you can even experiment with different types of deals, saying that, hey, do you want more preferred equity or do you want more common equity? So we offer a one-stop shop for people who want to create their fund with a customizable fund platform. And we help them with all aspects of marketing, launching, and scaling their fund. We help them with their accounting and taxes. We help them with the legal. We help them with the compliance. And we, of course, help them with the investor onboarding and investment management. The single most important thing I wanted to tell you, Andrew, is people often compare us with a software platform. We have a really, really cool software platform, but that's one piece of what we offer sponsors. We offer the entire solution of marketing, launching, scaling, and starting a fund, as opposed to here is a software platform. Good luck, go for it.
So in many ways, this is like a one-stop shop. Come in, get your Avestor, start up your fund. It's helping you, the GP. It's helping your investors. It's lowering your compliance costs. It's lowering your legal bills. Just making your life a heck of a lot easier, so you can do what you're supposed to be doing. Less paperwork. You're supposed to be out there buying buildings and renovating them and selling them. You're not really supposed to be, did you get my K1? Did you get the wire? Right? You want people doing what they're supposed to be doing, the high value stuff, right?
Exactly. Spend a lot less time on paperwork, spend a lot less time on chasing the attorney for the latest deal. And sometimes you don't even have enough time. There is a deal which you want to move fast, and creating a PPM, you have to spend $10,000-$15,000, several weeks. Now you can move instantly with the evergreen fund. You hit the nail again right on the head. I mean, that's exactly the problem you're trying to solve. So.
This is just really wonderful. I wanted to thank you, Badri, for taking the time to speak with me and educate our audience on this wonderful offering that you have. And I want to make sure everybody knows, if you want to get a hold of Badri, really easy. His email is badri@avestorinc.com, and the website is www.avestorinc.com. And I'll leave the floor open to you if there's anything final that you wanted to make sure that our listeners don't miss.
Sure. Let me start with something more prosaic. Not everybody will know how to spell my name, so it's BADRI at avestorinc.com, AVESTORINC.com, and I know you'll be putting that in the show notes as well. And so to recap, if you're a passive investor, check out our website. We just signed our 50th fund today. So so you have a wide range of choices to choose from in a wide range of asset classes, wide range of geographies, and a wide range of funds, really. I mean, we have people doing music streaming rights, Airbnb, and so judgment liens. I mean, just a wide range of asset classes, apart from the traditional asset classes. And you get a single K1, you can diversify across multiple geographies, multiple asset classes, and have multiple points of liquidity. That is if you're a passive investor. And if you're a sponsor, before you do your next capital raise, please check out what a customizable fund can do for you. You may come to the conclusion it's the wrong platform or the wrong type of fund, but at least I think you owe it to yourself to explore it and look at the 40 to 70% legal compliance and accounting cost savings, and the 70 to 90% time savings you'll get with a customizable fund. So
I really want to thank you. Thank you so much for this, Badri. And we'll be posting this on LinkedIn and the various social media channels, and of course YouTube. And thank you again. I've met several GPs that are very excited about your product, and I just wanted to get more of them to know about it. So thank you again.
I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about this both from a passive investor perspective and a sponsor perspective. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you.